Bowser has quite a lot of forms. Alright, come on. Mega Dragon Bowser? That's a little silly. But 3 stand above the rest, quite literally. Giga Bowser, Dry Bowser, and Fury Bowser are his most monstrous transformations, each bringing something new to the table. But which one is the ultimate form? That's what we're figuring out today. We'll go through each of these titanic versions of Bowser, covering their origins, impact, design, and some fun facts along the way. And to keep things simple, we're going in order of their first appearances, starting with the Nightmare Fuel that debuted in Super Smash Bros. Melee, Giga Bowser. But before we begin, I do have to say that if you go on to enjoy this video, then be sure to leave a like and perform a final smash on that subscribe button. Alright, now let's continue on with this episode of Triple Versus. Giga Bowser made his terrifying debut in Super Smash Bros. Melee on the GameCube in 2001. Now, Giga Bowser wasn't just a bigger version of normal Bowser. He almost seemed like an entirely separate entity, with grotesquely exaggerated features and an aura that screamed final boss energy. He was the secret final boss of Melee's adventure mode, only appearing if you reached the Bowser fight under a specific time limit. If you thought normal Bowser was tough, Giga Bowser laughed in your face with even more powerful attacks, near unstoppable armor, and an intimidation factor that was off the charts. Melee wasn't the last we saw of Giga Bowser. He returned in Super Smash Bros. Brawl, Smash 4, and Ultimate, but this time as part of Bowser's final smash. Instead of a secret boss fight, Giga Bowser became a temporary transformation, letting players demolish their opponents with boosted strength and armor for a few seconds in Brawl and Smash 4, and one big punch that could potentially KO your opponent in Ultimate. This change made him more accessible, but arguably less impactful. He was no longer an unbeatable force of nature, but rather a power-up that could still be dodged or countered. However, he did make a return as a boss in Smash Ultimate's World of Light mode, where he once again played the role of a giant overpowered menace. Giga Bowser wasn't based on any previous Mario game or Bowser transformation. He was a Smash Bros. Original, seemingly created to make Bowser more threatening in a crossover fighting game. According to Masahiro Sakurai, the inspiration for Giga Bowser came from his interpretation of Bowser's 8-bit sprites as a frenzied, terrifying monster, especially in contrast to Bowser's modern design, which he felt was steadily becoming cuter. And Giga Bowser is definitely anything but cute. Notably, Sakurai also clarified that Giga Bowser was considered a separate character from normal Bowser in Melee, which is why he uses Bowser's black alternate costume in Adventure Mode, though this distinction was dropped in later installments. Melee's Adventure Mode was already a fun single-player experience, but Giga Bowser elevated it into a real test of skill. His unexpected appearance made him one of the most memorable surprises in the game, and for many players, beating him felt like a major accomplishment. As a final smash in later games, he definitely made Bowser's movement feel more powerful, but some argue it made him a little too gimmicky, since it was basically a short burst of invincibility rather than a strategic boss battle. Still, whenever Giga Bowser shows up, you know things are about to get serious. Let's talk about his design. The jagged monstrous features take Bowser's standard look and dial it up to 11. First, with his Melee appearance, his spikes are sharper, his color palette is darker aside from his shell, his face is slimmer, almost as if he started looks maxing, his limbs are longer and slimmer, and his sheer size make him more monstrous than ever. Now with Brawl, his eyes seem to have a faint glow to them now, and in Smash 4, his color palette has gotten lighter, likely to align itself more with normal Bowser. Finally, in Ultimate, nothing really changes, but this is definitely the best the form has ever looked. Alright, now it's time for me to get into some fun facts about Giga Bowser. Disclaimer, all of these facts come from the Mario Wiki, along with the rest of the information that you hear from this video. Did you know that in Melee, there's an unused sound clip where the announcer says Giga Bowser's name? And this clip can only normally be heard in the sound test. And as expected, due to Giga Bowser's different names in English and Japanese, there exist 2 different sound bites. One where the announcer says Giga Bowser, and another where the announcer says Giga Koopa. With our next fact, did you know that Giga Bowser was once under consideration as a transformation for Bowser in the game Skylanders Superchargers? However, he was replaced by the Skylanders original transformation, Molten Bowser. And for our final fact, did you know that Giga Bowser can actually be hacked as a playable character in Smash Ultimate? And if you win as him, then on the victory screen, you'll just see him doing a T-pose due to him lacking any actual victory animations. Whether you love him as a terrifying boss fight or hate him as an overpowered final smash, Giga Bowser is easily one of Bowser's most iconic forms. But he's not the only time Bowser has undergone a monstrous transformation, because up next, we're looking at a form that comes from beyond the grave, Dry Bowser. Bowser has survived just about everything, but what happens when he doesn't. Dry Bowser is the chilling result of Bowser falling into lava and coming back as a skeletal version of himself. First appearing in New Super Mario Bros. For the Nintendo DS in 2006, Dry Bowser was a surprise twist for players who thought they had defeated Bowser early. After dropping him into lava at the end of World 1, you'd assume the fight was over, but nope. Later in the game, Bowser rises from the ashes, or bones, as a skeleton, now tougher, faster, and somehow even angrier. This was the first time in the Mario series where Bowser canonically died, at least temporarily, and it gave us one of the most unique forms ever. Dry Bowser has become a staple of Mario spin-offs and later platformers, making multiple appearances over the years. After New Super Mario Bros. On the DS, he returned in Super Mario 3D Land, once again as a skeletal, resurrected version of Bowser for extra boss fights in the castles of the special worlds. But then things got weird. Instead of just being a Bowser but dead character, Dry Bowser started appearing in Mario spin-offs as a separate character entirely. He became a playable racer in Mario Kart Wii, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and even showed up in Mario Tennis Aces and Mario Party Island Tour. At some point, it stopped being clear whether Dry Bowser was a one-time resurrection or an alternate version of Bowser that just exists alongside him. Unlike Giga Bowser, who was a Smash Bros. Original, Dry Bowser came straight from the Mario series itself. The concept is simple. What happens when Bowser dies? Given his tendency to fall into lava all the time, it was only a matter of time before Nintendo played around with the idea of an undead Bowser. Dry Bowser might not have the same immediate jaw-dropping impact as Giga Bowser, but he became a fan favorite almost immediately. His skeletal design and undead Bowser concept made him stand out, and his return in later games solidified him as more than just a one-off gimmick. Now when it comes to Dry Bowser's design, he's not just a reskin. He stands out when compared to Bowser's other many forms due to his skeletal structure. One of his most notable features is his glowing red eyes that pierce through his skull. And despite being dead, Dry Bowser can still breathe fire, but instead of Bowser's usual orange flames, it's blue. It gives off this ghostly, otherworldly vibe, making him feel more intimidating. Now let's get into some fun facts about Dry Bowser. For our first fact, did you know that there's actually an oversight in New Super Mario Bros. On the DS, where if the player uses a cannon to get to World 5, then Bowser's demise in the lava will actually appear unexplained, as he has never seen falling in the lava before his reappearance in the first castle of World 8. For our second fact, did you know that Dry Bowser actually had one of the best speed stats in Mario Kart Wii, making him a go-to pick for competitive players, especially when you pair him with the Flame Runner bike? And for our final fact, it's not really a fact, it's just this whole Dry Bowser being a separate person theory, which I'm going to explain in detail here. The theory that Dry Bowser is actually a different character stems from the way he's portrayed in certain games, as well as some inconsistencies with his character. First of all, in some spin-off games, Dry Bowser can appear alongside normal Bowser, like in Mario Kart. And now you might say, well, it's just a spin-off game. Plus they have Tanuki Mario in Mario Kart, and you know Mario and Tanuki Mario are the same person. And to that, I would bring you to my second point, being that the skeletal structure of Dry Bowser isn't even the same as normal Bowser. Putting the two side by side, you can see that there are notable differences between the eye sockets, the snouts, and the hair. To back up this point even further, you can see that in the game Mario Strikers Charge, that if you shock Bowser with lightning, you can see that his skeletal structure in that game is actually different than Dry Bowser's. And for a final point, normal Bowser and Dry Bowser seem to kind of have different personalities, with Dry Bowser being less goofy and more quiet. Dry Bowser isn't just Bowser with the flesh removed. He's a fan favorite transformation that took on a life or afterlife of its own. But while he represents what happens when Bowser dies, our next transformation is all about what happens when Bowser is pushed beyond his limits. Next up, Fury Bowser. We've seen Bowser mutate into a monster and rise from the dead, but what happens when he completely loses control? Enter Fury Bowser, an absolutely massive and unstoppable force of nature that first appeared in Bowser's Fury on the Nintendo Switch in 2021. Unlike Giga Bowser, who was created just for Smash Bros., or Dry Bowser, who came from a simple what if Bowser died scenario, Fury Bowser is a full-on cinematic transformation. This isn't just Big Bowser. This is Bowser at his most unhinged, corrupted by a mysterious black goop that Bowser came into contact with because of a little prank Bowser Jr. wanted to pull on his dad. Unlike Giga and Dry, Fury Bowser hasn't shown up in other Mario games yet, but that's because Bowser's Fury is his game. Instead of just being a boss fight, Fury Bowser is the entire premise of this expansion for 3D World. Every few minutes, he rises from the depths of the sea, raining down fire, changing the landscape, and making exploration way more intense. He doesn't just wait for you to approach him. He attacks out of nowhere, forcing you to either dodge and survive or find a way to fight back. Nintendo has never explicitly explained what caused Bowser to become Fury Bowser, but one theory is that the goop is linked to Bowser Jr.'s paint powers from Super Mario Sunshine. Bowser's Fury was a unique experiment for the Mario series, blending open world exploration with an always looming boss fight. Unlike traditional Mario games where Bowser is just the final fight at the end, Fury Bowser was a constant threat, meaning you had to change how you played based on his presence. Instead of just running through levels, you had to plan around when Fury Bowser would attack, what areas were safe, and how to use his own destruction against him. It was easily one of the most intense versions of Bowser ever seen. Getting into his design, if Giga Bowser looks like a kaiju, then Fury Bowser is straight up Godzilla. He makes everyone around him look like ants with his massive size, his body has become burnt, his pupils are no longer visible, and you get the impression that Bowser's body has become hotter due to the fiery glow of his stomach, hair, and spikes. When he attacks, the entire sky turns dark, rain begins to fall, and lightning strikes, which isn't something you could say about Giga or Dry. Now for our final fun fact section, let's get into some fun facts about Fury Bowser. First of all, Fury Bowser is arguably Bowser's largest form, standing alongside other transformations such as his transformation in New Super Mario Bros. Wii and his transformation as a kid in Yoshi's Island. Next, after collecting all 100 cat shines in Bowser's Fury, Fury Bowser's hair will glow white instead of red. Although I kind of wish that his fire breath would have changed color too, like to blue like Dry Bowser. And finally, Fury Bowser bears a striking resemblance to normal Bowser's appearance when using his Mega Strike in Mario Strikers Charged. Now, if I had a nickel for every time I mentioned Mario Strikers in a non-Mario Strikers related video, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice, isn't it? As a final boss in Mario games, Bowser isn't usually all that scary, so I really appreciate when Nintendo does something crazy with his character. While yes, I do like transformations like Meowser, Bowser is just at his best when he has me quaking in my boots. But now it's time to wrap things up and decide which of these 3 Bowser forms is the ultimate transformation. When it comes to appearances and overall impact, Dry Bowser definitely takes the win. He's the only one of the 3 to appear on both mainline and spin-off Mario games, and I don't think he's going anywhere anytime soon. Nintendo clearly loves using him, and at this point, he's just as much a part of Bowser's legacy as his regular form. As for Giga Bowser, he's strictly a Super Smash Bros. Thing. And honestly, I don't know if I'd even want to see him in a mainline Mario game. He was built specifically for Smash, and dropping him into a traditional Mario platformer would just feel off. He works because he's a separate entity, and I think that's where he should stay. Fury Bowser, on the other hand, I really hope he comes back. It'd be such a waste if he was a one and done thing exclusive to Bowser's Fury. I'd say he could get the Dry Bowser treatment and show up in spin-offs, but his sheer size makes that tricky. Maybe Nintendo could give him his own racetrack in Mario Kart, or even better, a Smash Bros. Stage with Fury Bowser in the background destroying everything as a stage hazard. We've been long overdue for a Bowser's Castle stage in Smash, but if we got a Bowser's Fury stage with him wreaking havoc, I sure wouldn't complain. Now, when it comes to which form makes the most sense, that's easily Dry Bowser. Bowser already has undead Koopas in his army, so of course he'd have an undead form himself. It fits naturally into the Mario universe. But if we're talking about the best transformation, the one with the coolest features, the most terrifying presence, and the one that might make you need a change of pants, the battle is between Giga Bowser and Fury Bowser. Overall, between the 3, my personal bias leans towards Fury Bowser. Ever since I saw the first trailer for Bowser's Fury, I knew we were getting something special. Growing up, I mostly liked Dry Bowser because of Mario Kart Wii. He was fun to unlock and, let's be real, easily the edgiest character on the roster. Giga Bowser was my favorite for a long time just because of how much I love Smash, and he was this cool, scary ultimate form of Bowser. But when I put him up against Fury Bowser, I started to realize something. Fury just makes more sense. Giga Bowser is rad, but let's be honest, he almost looks like someone's edgy fan art. Fury Bowser, on the other hand, still looks like Bowser. He takes the core of what makes Bowser Bowser and cranks it up to kaiju level destruction. The proportions are right, the design is brutal, and the entire gameplay experience around him just elevates him. So in today's triple versus, our winner is Fury Bowser. So, what did you think of the video? What is your favorite Bowser form? You can let me know in the comments below. And if you have any ideas for any future triple versus episodes, you can also leave a comment about that too. And of course, if you enjoyed the video, then like the video. And if you enjoyed me, then subscribe. I've been Majin Sprite, or you can just call me Sprite, but never Majin. And hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye now.